Oh, okay. Let's get rid of me. No one wants to look at me. I certainly do. There, that's so much better. Now I don't have to see me on the screen. It's hard enough seeing me in a mirror in the morning. So ladies and gentlemen, of course, a special edition of the Louie Free Radio Show, Brain Food from the Heartland. And Jonathan Silva, Jonathan, this is a real old man thing. I got to go ladies first.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm Klaudia. I know I
like it. I love it.
Okay. Thank you. Not everybody does. I have to tell you, I was chastised once at a grocery store for saying, please go. It was raining and please go ahead. I said, ladies first. So she continued. She was very upset and my age, a lady my age, and started to say, and I'm no lady. I said, well, ma'am, you've proven that.
I'm all for chivalry.
Klaudia, I'm sorry, I went off on that. You got it. Klaudia, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, so my name is Klaudia Fronczek. I am co-owner of Biofeedback Clinic of Detroit, a holistic, energetic practice that I got into after going to college for animal science to Michigan State University. I was supposed to be a veterinarian. And then when I practiced for my vet and I saw him working from 6 a.m. till 9 at night with a hip surgery at 52, I said, no, I'm okay. I love animals, but I'm good. That's a little too much for me. So we had actually found therapists that use this methodology while I was at the end of my college career. And I figured, I could intern, we'll see how it goes. We loved it because there was great success with ourselves, our pets. So we figured, why not jump in full force? And here we are.
And you love it, right?
I love it.
That's good.
Jonathan, just a bit about you and Rabbit Savior, if you would.
Yeah, no, Rabbit Savior is basically a community that we're growing and becoming just a full force of a difference in the rabbit community and just trying to make change. And we have multiple services. We have Fund My Bun now, Fund My Rescues coming up in May.
Great.
All the tools that the rabbit people need, we're providing. So that's kind of where we're at with the vet bill assistance, things like that. So it's really happening. We're excited.
And I would really urge people to go to rabbitsavior.com and read your story. And, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
It's been a fun adventure. It's a life-changing experience. And I think my past, it's almost like my past was erased. It's so just rejuvenating to do this and help people and watch people grow from it. And just watch the community unite together and just grow, steadily. Like last night, we stayed up till 9 o'clock at night and did a Zoom call with the people in the Philippines, and it's insane. I love it. I love it.
I know you do. I know you do, and that's absolutely wonderful. Klaudia, tell us more, if you would, about holistic medicine, about biofeedback.
Yeah. So holistic medicine is just focusing on the body as a whole. So you may come in with an issue, let's say in your intestines, but holistic practice is going to focus, is there some sort of blockage, maybe in the liver, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's even in the teeth. We can get blocks in the teeth after work or some sort of trauma, and then that'll just screw everything up down below. So holistic just means you're looking at the body as a whole. Biofeedback is the energy therapy of holistic practices. So we use frequencies to determine where the issue is, what the issue is. And then we also use it to harmonize any disharmonious or disturbances in the body, which opens it up. So if you've got a blockage somewhere, whether that's from physical scars or radiation, medicine, viruses, heavy metals, or even if it's like an emotional trauma, the machine will harmonize it for you so that your body can purge it out, and then you feel great. And then it also amplifies anything good. so that, like homeopathic remedies, good emotions, the original frequency at which an organ's supposed to work at, it'll raise it up so that inevitably the body will learn to do it itself. The end goal is self-regulation, to restore it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's wonderful. I've got to show my ignorance. I remember biofeedback being
Radio wave,
interested
right?
in way back.
Oh,
I
okay.
hadn't decades but hadn't heard it to the level that you're doing it. Very interesting, because you can use it as a diagnostic tool and a healing tool.
Right. So we use it to figure out where issues are coming from. And then we're also using it to help the body restore its proper functioning systems, chill out the nervous system, help you able to process stress, everything essentially.
What's interesting, as I'm thinking probably some people come to you first, and you've got to get people that are frustrated. And I'm not going to criticize any other type of practice, but just not getting to it, that are kind of desperate, exhausted from looking for answers and help that they're not getting.
Yeah, that's how we got into it. Our cat was licking himself profusely to the point of being like raw, and none of the vets could figure it out. And it's not their fault by any means. I don't blame Western medicine or anything. It's just,
nor do I.
Yeah, it's just they reach the limit of their capabilities, of their diagnostic resources, and sometimes it's an emotional issue. And like, how is a veterinarian supposed to say, well, this is emotional here?
Yeah.
And so they're just limited. So we thankfully came across the practice, and we took our cat there and he calmed down. It helped us. So how could we not do it?
Let me ask you a question. How do you hook the animal up to the machine? Is there like wrist? Because I used to do the holistic stuff with the wrist stuff. Yeah.
So that is the old version. This is the latest version that they updated. So same principle, same thing, but just a modulation mat. So it's just an electromagnetic mat, and we put the animal on top of it. And then since, bunnies are so tiny.
Yeah.
Some bunnies are tiny. Jester.
They're not as big as like a 6'7".
No, I'm sorry.
You're good. So we have teeny tiny electrodes that I can place, whether it's on the brain or like their liver or something, but they don't make such tiny electrodes for bunnies. So as long as I have some sort of sample from them, whether it's a blood sample, saliva, maybe some sort of excretion, like if they're having digestive issues, and I can put that into the input cup, which is the reading cup, and it just reads the frequencies that are in that area, and then it'll flip it or harmonize it, whatever it needs to do, and it goes through that mat that the bunny's sitting on top of, and then they absorb the energy from it.
Klaudia, you just blew my mind.
I'm still like, wow.
When I got taught that it's like quantum physics, this and that, and I'm just like, okay, how do I speak English? Like, how do I get this something people can understand? So I hope it's somewhat understandable.
It's understandable and fascinating. I mean, I can't say I understand obviously but that you're able to take some of their feces or saliva, and this machine can analyze that and then provide the necessary treatment. Go ahead, Jonathan, save me from myself.
I mean, it's next level. That's insane. It's pretty cool. Valentina, Amy's bunnies, what did you do for them? Kind of walk me through the process of how that.
Yeah. So she came to us for Tino, because he had like those little spasm kicks. And what I do is, if someone goes to the veterinarian or their medical doctor, I try to take what the professionals have said and diagnosed and go off of that. So if they can eliminate things for me, then that saves me some work. So we had noticed that it was, all right, it's epilepsy, but it's not epilepsy. It's like some sort of something neurological, but it's not. So when they came the first time, it was a lot of unblocking. So I did like deep blockages to just clear him everywhere. There was radiation blockages, which is just, you know, your cell phone towers, the Wi-Fi, all that stuff going on. There was some stress. And then I have specific programs that can go in that can identify whether it's like emotional and what kind of conflict, whether it's anger, whether it's past trauma, et cetera, et cetera. And I think he tested for a virus, it was, and like a few blockages from
Got you.
emotional. So we cleared that, and I did a few programs for the nervous system, for epilepsy. And she said that he had calmed down, that he had stopped being so scared. He had come out. So sometimes it does take time, you know, because the longer you have an issue, the longer it's going to take me to resolve. Like if, you know, if you've had something for 10 years, I can't do it in 2 sessions. Like, I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, there's a lot of, the damage done can't be undone as
Right.
quickly as the ongoing issue, right?
Yeah. Like I had a holistic practitioner that I went to that always explained the human body as an onion. So the longer we're alive, the more stuff we add on, the more layers we're at. In fact, we have to peel them off one by one.
Makes sense. Now, how does the person like me from California have your services or get to do your services? Do I have to go out to Detroit, or is there
no.
another way?
We have the capability of doing remote sessions as well, which we take a sample of your blood and we're able to put it in the input so that it's reading you and in the output so that you're also receiving it. And now that gets into Einstein's theory of entanglement, that once one cell is in contact with another cell, no matter the distance that they're apart, they'll always be in contact with each other.
I'll tell you what, I'll be the first. I want to do this, so I'll send you my blood. However, you want to package it GPS.
Okay.
Let's test it out.
I said we could do it that way, or we're actually opening up a practice in Fresno, California. So I'm not gonna be that far from you. So if you want to pop in,
maybe. Yeah, it's only, I think, a 6-hour drive, so that might work best. Just send my blood all across the United States.
Yeah.
How do you provide the treatment? Explain that, how that works for someone at a distance.
Right. So they'll send in like a sample of their blood. So if they take like the diabetic poking, I don't know what it's called, the needles, you know, and they just smear their blood over a clean tissue, then I have that and I can put it into the machine and it just runs its little diagnostics. Just same way, you know, you send your blood in for lab work, they have their machines and it runs up the diagnostics for that. And then I have little pendants that I can charge with therapy that the people can wear, or like I can make little droppers with remedies in them that they can take. So lots of different options.
I think more people need to hear this, and it's got to get out there, because it's like, it's a different version of just taking pills and trying to get better. Because I mean, personally, I take like 12 supplements a day and I hate it, you know? That would be prescription medicine, but I'm taking 12 pills. And if I could do this without taking 12 pills, I mean, that's a win.
Yeah. It's very popular in Europe, since this is where it originated from. So it's like German technology that combines traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic Indian medicine. So it's got like everything in it. But over there, it's so well known that there's, I swear, there's like 5 clinics in every city.
Wow.
And they started with allergies over there, and then they realized that all the things it can do. So over there, it's not uncommon. Here,
but
you're
I think we're behind the curve a little bit here.
Yeah.
That's my take on it, because I mean, I'm talking to, you know, the guys from RWAF and, you know, their information with rabbits and their medical, and we're behind the curve. I think we spend too much time, you know, keyboard worrying and not connecting together, and really, you know, going forth. And, you know, I gotta, you know, really, I guess, cover my words right now, but if we were just bridging that gap, so to speak, I think it'd be better life over here, you know.
Maybe more open-minded to different things. And that's
or,
the one thing.
Absolutely.
More open-minded, because I remember, and I'm not going to belabor it, but I remember when we had an issue with one of our rabbits, and I reached out to someone in the UK, a vet in the UK,
Mhm.
because he'd been on the show with me. And I don't want to make it a long story, but he had provided some vital information. I'm grateful. This was years ago to him today, because I was going to say, I know that the information that he gave me, and then finding a vet locally who was open-minded enough to work with
Do-
us on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, but that's where it's interesting you say that, both of you say that about Europe, because that's where that information came. That was
Yeah.
vitally important for us.
Yeah, I mean, more vets are getting into alternative methods. I noticed, like, our vet has acupuncture that they do for like cats and
That's
dogs.
wonderful.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they do acupuncture, but they're not replacing it by any means, and it's just supplement. They use it more for physiological stuff like arthritis, old age, pain relief, which has been known to work well with like cold laser and or acupuncture. So they do a combination, which is the same thing we do. Like if an animal gets some sort of infection, obviously go get your antibiotic. Like,
Sure.
don't be an idiot, take your medicine, but at the same time, give us a call, and then we do it so that within the same day, the pain subsides. Within 2 days, you can tell that the infection is clearing, not 5 days of the antibiotic. You know what I mean? So it shortens and it works together.
And again, when you're saying that, too often people think it has to be one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of this is, why not explore other
Areas.
modalities, other things to do, and let them be complementary. If no one's saying that somebody should stop taking a certain prescription medicine or whatever.
Right.
It's almost a complementary of what's together.
And then if you could eliminate, again, I will say, if you could eliminate prescription, eliminate taking drugs, then you can, and maybe complementary, bring them together. I love that.
The time to heal, the time can be shortened. If that's going to help, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, we do that for our own health. Like, I'll go to my family doctor. I have hormonal issues, and so Western it's not their fault. They just couldn't find much going on. But by working with the doctor, getting the blood work, and then analyzing, what's this, what's that, then, in combination with this, you get results instead of just being like, I don't know.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, I am too. The website for more information, tell us.
So there is our website, which is eurohealthandwellnessspa.com. And then there is the actual machines website, which is therawellness.com, that has how the machines work and stuff but it's essentially the same thing.
Forgive me, but can you say that again or spell it out for me?
The second one is Thera, THERA wellness.com.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. But the
I'll
first
get that
one,
link up. Folks, I'll get that link up in just a couple of minutes. As soon as I can get it together. As soon as I can get it together. I'm never getting it together, but I will have the link up in a few minutes. Jonathan, this is fantastic news. For people, obviously, but for our beloved pets to be able to, again, they can't, of course, you can't take them to the vet and tell, and my rabbits aren't going to be able to tell the vet what's going on with them. Yeah. I can say, well, this hurts here, doc, and my throat's been dry or whatever, whatever. My vision is changed. They can't.
Right. That's one of the things I really enjoy about it, because it's like a puzzle. So we had a cat come in, and they came in for something else, but one of the things that had tested was near drowning experience. And like, I have been trained where I don't look at what's testing. I just put it aside. Like, I just go through everything, whatever shows up, and then we run it. Because I don't care as long as you feel better, right? And after we had done the therapy, they call us back in a few days and they're like, our cat started drinking water. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Was he not? She said, no, he would never drink out of like a bowl or anything. They just had to add water to his wet food. And that was how. And I said, oh, okay, let me look through what showed up. And then I saw the near drowning thing. That's the only thing I could correlate with water. I said, well,
Wow.
was there anything that happened? And they said, oh yeah, there was flooding a few years back. The
Wow.
So
basement
there's
had,
trauma basically, right?
yeah, exactly. The basement had flooded. There was another cat in the house. So the owner wasn't there. There was just the two cats together.
Wow.
And there was something else of inability to escape, life at
Oh.
risk, I think, something like that. And an ability to help, I think, or feeling powerless. I'm sorry, it was feeling powerless. So together, she explained that
This is
there
what
was
you got from the cat? Like,
so the other cat got stuck in the basement, and I think this one was trying to claw at the door to get down and help the other. Unfortunately, sad
Oh.
story, but
It's a very,
it's sad, but by clearing those conflicts, he was able to find relief, and he started drinking water again. I mean, it's nothing like life changing.
I need to sign up,
But-
basically. Take my
well,
blood.
I have to tell you, it is life, Klaudia, respectfully, it is life changing. It was life changing, certainly for the cat and for the cat's family members, the
Yeah.
humans, to see that, to worry, because that's
Mhm.
one of the things with cats. Cats have to get enough water,
Yeah.
and they couldn't resolve it. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they were,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at wit's end, depressed, I don't know, whatever, concerned. Let me just say, very concerned for their four-legged family member, their
Mhm.
cat.
Can you do this for like preventative measures of anything? Can you do like, once a month to prevent
Yeah,
things from
no,
happening?
we highly recommend it preventative even.
Okay.
Like after someone clears whatever issue they come in for, we say changing of the season, come on in so you don't get colds. When kids go back to school, bump them up with a little vitality immune system. When COVID started happening, we did a lot of just increasing vitality, increasing the resistance programs, and then people would wear little chips with just like a little immune boosting stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I'm curious what mine's gonna say. Probably just crazy.
I mean, it surprises
Well,
even myself. I tested myself the other day and it was like abandonment something. And I'm like, I called my mom, like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, ever since you were a kid, had like a fear of being left alone. I was like, well, would have been nice if you told me.
Well,
Thanks, Mom.
but that, so you're able, then you do what?
So then I throw everything into the machine and we just run it and you feel lighter. The issues start to resolve, whatever's stressing you out, not so stressful anymore. The only thing is that I always have to warn is the following day, people not usually animals, but you can have like a purging. And we're taught that if it gets a little worse, that's good, because that means the energy is
Coming out.
flowing. You want it to be a little bit before it goes up, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
It does.
in animals, or like they'll get loose bowels maybe, they just tend to get super, super tired, like just zonked for the whole day. But in humans, when I do the emotional stuff, especially like chakras, the Indian medicine,
Yeah.
you can get emotional the next day. So if I work on like rage, someone could be a little grouchier the next day. So keep your distance. Is all I
that
say.
kind of the negative emotions. Okay.
Yeah. There might be tears.
But again, a good thing to know that it's purging from you, right? That it's leaving
Yeah.
you.
And I've even noticed throughout the years that mothers tend to have because you're carrying your child, so your cells are in contact. So back to that entanglement theory, there's something about mothers with the kids that when I work on a mother, especially like I think close mothers with their offspring, when I treat the mother, sometimes the children have a little purging. So I had
That's
like
interesting.
I worked on a mom, and the next day they're like, yeah, my daughter just could not stop crying. And I was like, well, there could be a little something, clearing both energies at once.
And it clears, and of course, again, in that process, I don't know. I'm the king of the bad analogies with my family. So it's it's like you've got a bad tooth, and the tooth gets pulled out, and it's going to hurt for
Yeah.
a while, but it's healing. It's the healing
Exactly.
process, I guess I should say. That was a
Yeah.
terrible analogy. Even I know that. It was the quickest
Yeah.
one I could come up. But again, the healing process of getting someone has a surgery, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to hurt. They're going to hurt bad
Mhm.
after getting stitched up, but it's
Mhm.
part of the healing process.
Exactly.
So
I'm blown away. I'm blown
yeah,
away.
I am too, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I am too.
I'm
This
so
is-
glad we did this because it's like, it's something different. It's not normal. And I want to throw a wrench in things because that, I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that, I would love to do another video again, maybe just something different. But yeah, I think it needs to get out. People need to see it.
Mhm.
This is insane.
when you think about it again, for someone to be able to eliminate certain medications, again, I'm not, and again, let me do a quick disclaimer. I'm certainly not against prescription
am I.
drugs.
Right.
You know, they're life-saving, they're vitally
great.
important. But
Yeah.
again,
It'll minimize.
a doctor told me this years ago, and let me see if I can. He said, Paracelsus once said, all medicines are poison dependent on the dose. Now, I don't know if that's the exact quote, but there are negative aspects of them. There are side effects. There are issues with taking them long term. Again, if you got to take them, you got to take them. You've got to weigh that. I will tell you, I know someone who went to a physician a while back, and the person was concerned about, they had read about the long-term effects of this medication. And the doctor told him, let me tell you the short-term effects of not taking it. It's called heart attack, stroke, and death.
Right.
And the guy said, okay, I'm in. I mean, you gotta,
Yeah.
But if you're able to eliminate some of them, or people are able to exercise, for example, and eliminate certain yay for them. And it's better for them.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And this could be a great tool in doing that.
Yeah, I mean, even myself, I had small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and it was to the point where it was like sharp, intense pain. And hindsight 2020, clear as day, I had it for 7-10 years, but it took.
That sounds awful.
You learn, as a human, you learn to deal, you adapt.
You adapt. I get it.
Right? So it took me getting COVID to have a bad flare up of it, to get my gastrologist, which is my uncle, say, oh, guess what, honey, you've got SIBO. Diagnosing me from across the ocean in Poland. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And, he's like, just go get this medicine, which, it was so intense that I wasn't going to wait for my machine to do it. I said, I'll do both. I'll take the antibiotics, and then I'll help it with this. So by doing both, I had a much higher success rate, faster. And then, but there's nothing against Western medicine. Like,
of course,
I'll take, and people, I had clients that were like in the crossroads, just having like a crisis with like even the vaccines. And I'm like, if it makes you feel better, you do it. That's okay. And if you want to cleanse and detox from it, I'll help you. So you can have the best of both worlds. You don't have to stress about it.
Did you have a lot of that, of people with the vaccine? And again, I'm not going to judge any way here, whether people decided to or don't decide to. And you had a lot of people, because to give them that option, again, I understand people were concerned. It came out quickly. It's like, what's good, how long is it going to, I get that, the concern, and that will build, to some anxiety. I've got to get it, but I don't want to get it. And then to know that you can, I shouldn't say have the best of both worlds, but to be able to have some additional help with that. Difficult decision.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, because I had people who were like students, they couldn't go back to school unless they got it. Some universities.
Oh, sure.
I had a few people that had it mandated for work. So we just prepped their bodies for before so that it wouldn't be a shock when they got it.
Wow.
And then the minute they got it, it was just like a detox. I was like, okay, I ran some stuff for their lymphs, for stress. And then if they did have any side effects, which none of mine did, but if anyone were to have like a headache or something, then okay, here's something for a headache, here's something for a fever, for fatigue. But I had like patients that were 89 taking it, not even a fever, not a headache, nothing. And I was like, all right, so it's not so scary, you know? And then they feel safer because, you know, for a few of them, they were scared that, you know, their older neighbors had passed away. So
Sure.
I remember one, she's so cute. She called me and she goes, are you doing it? Like, can I, what do you think about it? I was like, you know, if you want to do it, it's okay.
Yeah.
I help you. And then just the relief in her voice, I'm like, okay, thank God, you know?
Yeah, to
That's
know
so
that. Yeah, because otherwise it's kind of
Yeah.
be nervous and wait and see what kind of reaction and see what, that's to offer that kind of relief.
Not even worth it.
Klaudia Fronczek, we hear so much about people anxiety, and you mentioned
Mhm.
anxiety.
Mhm.
Can you talk about how you use that for
Yeah.
different issues that people have? I mean,
Yeah.
again, I think the word of the year was anxiety. Like
Anxiety.
you hear it in young people and little kids, and everybody's.
Yeah.
I should make everybody's got anxiety these days
Right.
about something. It seems to be a very, very common word.
Wallet, keys, phone, anxiety.
What-
So for that, we always, whenever we're looking, it's always what's causing, you know, is it going to be viral? Do you have hormonal issues? Are your hormones out of balance? You know, for women, especially if your estrogen's raging or you don't have enough progesterone, then that throws off your thyroid, which can throw off your adrenals, and it's just chaos. So we look to see, do you need anything like that balanced? But then we also pinpoint why that type of anxiety. Is it fear of abandonment? Is it fear of commitment? Is it anger? Is it genetic? You know, you can get emotions and fears passed down the lineage from your parents. So we do it all at once. If I find a virus, if I find a fear of commitment, if I find, you know, systemic burden from the father, all at once, run it so that the machine can harmonize it. You know, because fear is not necessarily a bad thing. You need fear to survive.
Fear could be
Right.
life-saving. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I never say I'm eliminating it. I'm just balancing it so that it's not riling you up. You're not scared of it anymore. And then we also have programs for stress, for adrenals, for hormones. You work at it from a whole. Maybe, you know, they say that in Chinese medicine that the kidneys are the cause of fear, liver is the cause of anger. So I always check, how's the energy doing here? How's it doing there? Whatever your body tells me it wants is what I give. I'm just the messenger.
This is insane. I don't even know what to say.
Well, yeah. I've got it. Okay. Now here I'm going off the wall. Wacky. No. Okay. You're Polish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you make schlickwa? Am I pronouncing it right? The beets and the horseradish together? Okay. Sorry.
It could just be a different region. And
I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it correct, but I've got a friend that always brings it to me because she knows I love beets and love horseradish.
We do have that. We actually just had it for Easter and it just blew my sinuses out.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So what is it?
So homemade. So
Yeah.
my dad used to make, forgive me, Jonathan, I'm sorry, I'm way off.
What is this?
My dad used to make, and now I'm talking many decades ago, horseradish. He would grate horseradish and he would do it in the backyard because it was so strong. And as kids, you know, you'd go up and you know, open the jar. It was like fun to see who could get closest to it without, you know, your eyes would water. You feel like you were going to pass out, but it was. But somehow it was great.
Oh, it's great. I love it. You know, and then if you've got a sinus infection,
it clears you out, clears your head like bang, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the commercial. Again, I'm sure there's some great commercial horseradish, but there's nothing like homemade.
Right. Yep.
I went off a little bit, Jonathan.
Okay. I love
horseradish.
Let me, Klaudia, give us a couple of more examples, if you will, with either rabbits or
anything
or animals. Yeah, because I get the human aspect of it, when someone can come in and say, but someone recognizes something with their four-legged family member, their pet that doesn't, you know, and they take them to the vet, and the vet.
I got a question. Now, do you work with vets? Like, if a vet has a certain issue, do they contact you and say, "Hey, can you help us with this?"
Yeah, our family vet, she and I have actually become really close. So what we'll do is we'll do like the yearly workup. And if anything starts, if their kidneys are starting to elevate, okay, boom, bada bing, like I know I gotta crank the kidneys a little bit and it'll come down. That value will come down.
Wow.
There's been viruses where the level has come down. So I'm just, they'll tell me, they'll pinpoint, and then we'll work together. If let's say like cats have gastrological issues, it could either be the liver or the pancreas quite often. So instead of doing like steroids to just bring down the inflammation,
Yeah.
no problem, I got you. I have a couple, different things I'll run. We'll balance all of the meridians that need to be doing, whatever might be there. And within a few days, they're good.
And that's the way the relationships should be, Jonathan. That was a really
Yeah.
good point about that. I mean, for humans and for pets,
Yeah.
work
No, I
together
agree.
for the greater good of the patient.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it. Like, they don't have the time to do it themselves. They're busy. So we're trying to get to the point where the vet would recommend us to just their practice, like, see us and then go over to biofeedback too, so that it could be a double whammy.
Complementary, right?
Right.
Complementary.
Yeah. Now, how many clinics are out there in the United States?
Mhm.
Is there a lot of clinics out there that what you do out
Oh,
there?
in the States? I think so. I think it's growing. I don't know. I know in Florida, there's, I think, a lady that does horses. And I think in New Hampshire, there's a vet that, like, she's an actual vet
Actual
that
vet.
you
Got
to,
it.
yeah. But for animals, I think it's still slow. Even for people, it's, they're very small clinics. I think a lot of people just practice from the comfort of their home.
Yeah.
Keep it, because it's in the US, holistic is still,
It's still new.
yeah.
It's
Everyone
still-
approaches very apprehensively. But, depending on the state, like California, oh yeah, they love it, right? Florida, they love it too.
We
So-
aged flower children love the natural cures also. That was
Yeah.
But some look, yeah. If you're an aged flower child, you probably do. But again, I know the things when you're talking about. You were talking about homeopathic.
Mhm.
things. I mean, I can remember now. This is 42 years ago, using the homeopathic for teething for
Mhm.
infants, and how well it worked. You don't want to give an infant
Yeah.
drugs or chemicals. You want to try to keep, and how well that worked. And that was like I
Yeah.
say, that was 40 plus years ago.
I mean, there's definitely something about Eastern approaches. Even like in Poland for teething, we give children amber necklaces, and everyone
Wow.
knows, like the drooling just stops. It just stops, and it's
Wow.
known that it's great for thyroid issues.
No way.
So it's a matter of bringing Eastern to the West.
People need to be open.
More open. That's the thing. More
Open.
open.
Yeah. If you want, don't be closed minded. Be,
Yeah.
Partner with your physician if need be, and
Right.
and just get in touch with you and try
Yeah.
it. Again, if you're not
Try
getting,
it.
if you're not getting the results that you want or need, why
Mhm.
wouldn't you try something else?
Right. And I mean, my new approach here in the States to get people to at least try it is we have a great weight loss program. Like
Oh, what? Tell me.
yeah, I promise you lose weight every week, right? It's super simple. You're not hungry on it. So I tell people, come in, try this first. Everyone wants to lose weight, right? No one wants to work out. Everyone wants to keep eating bread. So I'm just like, yeah, come here, I got you. And then when they're here, I happen to talk, they see it coming off, it works. And then it's a matter of, so how do you feel? What do you got going on in your life? Anything else that you need a little help with? And then they tend to stay.
Yeah.
So
When you're saying that about weight loss, again, we know the problems, and I'm not being critical of anyone, but we know the problems in the United States. I mean, I've just read they're on a press list, different county rankings on health, and to look at the obesity rates in
Yeah.
certain
Well, every
counties.
corner you got a McDonald's, you got a Starbucks, you got Del
Yeah.
Taco, but there's
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's right there in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
forcing it.
and again, you know, my understanding, I want to be cautious. I don't want to get Louie on you
Yeah.
guys, but I'm very cautious. But my understanding is most type 2 diabetes is lifestyle.
Yeah,
Lack of exercise, right? Poor nutrition, etc. Yet
Yeah.
I can't watch telly for a little bit and not see something about all the new drugs for diabetes, and people think, okay, well, I'll just take this, and then if it gets worse,
I'll be okay, and I'll keep eating this.
I could, I don't have to, I don't have to. There's actually a medical facility in this community that writes prescriptions for produce, for fruits and vegetables. It's like what they do is they give wait, but they call it a prescription, but you can take it to a store and get them for free. They're funding, they're trying to, it's really a wonderful thing. It's a really wonderful thing. Yet I know what A1C is, and I'm not diabetic. How do I know that? I know that from the ads. So obviously, and if you can help people with it, because I certainly don't believe people want to be dealing with obesity.
Sometimes there's just stuff like, so you have this part in your brain, the hypothalamus, that controls other hormones, that controls your hunger, whether you feel satiated. It controls your metabolism. The hormonal system, as my medical boyfriend says, is just a cluster. It's just a nightmare. He hates it. But it's because it's so complicated. One little teeny tiny thing in one hormonal area can send a cascade, and then trying to balance it is just, where do I start? What do I do? But we help with that. Anyways, the weight loss, what it is it's therapy that's been created so that it balances your hypothalamus. It reprograms it so you don't have the cravings. It suppresses your hunger. So when you're on my program, you're on a caloric deficit, you don't feel hungry. There's times where like you actually have to remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm supposed to eat.
Wow.
So, and what it does is it's amazing because it takes your body's fat and uses that as energy. So how we do it is you come in for your session. I give you a little supplement under the tongue and a little pendant that you wear that's continuously giving your body this therapy. And all you do is you eliminate fat and sugar, because, I'm trying to get like good habits in here too, to be reprogrammed. But by not eating the fat, the therapy is telling your body to use the fat on you for the energy. So even though you're only consuming, let's say 1,000 calories a day while on this, your body is still consuming 2,500 because it's getting the fat off of you. And that's how you lose weight every single day on this program, as long as you stick to the program. Disclaimer, don't yell at me if you're eating chocolate behind the bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Of course. It's like someone not taking their medication and not taking high blood pressure medication. Their blood pressure is still high. Well, either figure out something else to do or work.
But if someone does have cravings, I got something for the cravings, whether it's eating out, food addiction, eating addiction, junk food addiction, chocolate addiction, sugar addiction.
Biggest thing is I night eat. I got to lock the fridge because I will go have a meal at 1 a.m, 2 a.m. I will clear the fridge out. So if you have anything for that, I'll be right there.
But you don't have a it's not putting weight on. I mean, it's
I'm
doing well.
Pounds,
so
I just love to eat overnight.
I eat a phenomenal amount of food. Seriously, I mean, I eat a tremendous amount of food. And by the way, Jonathan Silva, the best curry I made was last year. I do a lot of tofu curry and a lot of different chickpea curries and things. Was at 4:00 in the morning. I got up. I didn't want to disturb anybody, even though I did bang around a little bit, and the aromas, but it was like, so I hear you night eating. I'm a big night eater, Jonathan, also. So Klaudia, Fronczek, tell a little bit more about with the animals, if you don't mind. I know I've asked you a few times. It's got to feel good. It's got to feel amazing, because again, you know, I know how worried pets can get and nervous when you take them to the vet, especially if you've had that. It's like, oh, not this place again. I don't want to be back here. And they can't tell you. And to know that for the pet family member and you, it's got to be very soul satisfying for you to, for humans also, but a pet.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was even having this discussion with my boyfriend the other day, because he, you know, in his work, he had that moment where it's just like, wow, that warm heart feeling, that you've helped someone is just, you know, because I've ever since I was a kid, animals, just, that's my thing. I've always felt for them, super sad if they're hurting, you know. My boyfriend calls me the cat lady, but it's not.
But what, wait a minute, but why does he call you? Why does he, there's got to be a reason, right?
He gets mad that I give the cats more kisses than him.
Love it.
Well,
I used to joke. I was like, if you were furry and cute, I'd do it too.
you know, someday he's gonna come home with like one of those cat masks, so it looks like, you know, with the lips are out, but the cat mask. He's gonna you know, get down on the floor and meow for you to kiss him more, right? Okay, here's maybe a wacky question, but is he the one?
Yeah, it's been 12
years.
Yep. So,
and
that's because he's a medical doctor. So
are all you guys doctors?
He's a Western medicine. So
well, that's fantastic.
Talk about melding of the sides.
Yeah, marrying the both. Oh, I said marrying.
It'll happen. One day it'll be. You're not jinxing anything.
No, not jinxing. No. I don't believe in that, the jinxing thing by saying something. But I just, I hope I'm not getting too personal. But that's wonderful.
Yes,
because you got so much passion for what you do. A very fortunate guy.
What a good team. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's brilliant, because I mean, you think about that. Of course, as a couple loving each other, but to be able to talk about things. I mean, he's a physician. You're able, right, Jonathan? I mean, that's fantastic.
He's definitely helped a lot, because there's been times where, like, with viral infections, I'm like, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, how do I? And he was like, you know, you need to support. He looked up the type of virus that it was, because obviously he doesn't know about animal viruses, but he took the time to look it up, and he's like, okay, you should probably focus on the thymus and the lymphatic system. And that's
great.
Like, all right, let's do it. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. So it works great.
That's fantastic. Just so that you know, I am a licensed minister. If you run into any issues, I can certainly transfer it to Michigan, in Ohio, and I think Pennsylvania. I don't know. I haven't done a wedding in a while, but just so you know, if you run into an issue where it need be done for whatever reason quickly, just let me know. This is fantastic, Jonathan, right?
This is fun. I love it. Every Fridays.
Fantastic information, Klaudia. Honestly, fantastic information.
Yeah. It feels great, you know, especially like there was a cat who had you know, they took her to the vet, and just, it was traumatic news. Like, you know, just go home, enjoy it, right? And thankfully the owner is like, she's a hard woman, where she's like, hey, well, we need medicine, you know, we're not giving up. Obviously, no matter what you say, no matter how bad the x-ray looks, what can I do? And so it was more intense, you know, it was a daily thing as opposed to once a week, but if they're willing, I'm willing. So I said, all right, you know, it doesn't hurt to try. And the lungs cleared up, the heart is stable, and that was October.
Really?
And the cat's going outside, she's eating, she's playing. She's 21. So
what? 21?
21 years?
21 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, we went from like sobbing to, okay, it's doing good. We're good. So yeah. And there's another one, heart issues, same thing. between the medicine, because like I said, take
Yeah,
your medicine, do whatever. If you've got supplements, you want to add supplements, go for it. I'm all for everything. Yeah, the heart, they went back for a recheck on the ultrasound. The left atrium was smaller, so it's good. The next checkup isn't for another 6 months as opposed to the previous every 3. So apparently things are going good.
that's got to make you feel wonderful. And I know as someone who has 4-legged family members, furry family members, that's whatever you want to,
Everything.
whatever the thing is to call
I
them.
ride the roller coaster. I get like super stressed and anxious, and I'm like, full panic, like, oh my God, I gotta do something. And then when you hear the good news, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling of relief, because again, they can't tell you, you don't know. If it's something wrong with me, it's like, okay, it's me. But if something wrong with one of those, that's
I live and die for them. And I don't know if it's good to be that emotionally invested, but I am, so we'll deal with it.
It's, I think that sometimes, Klaudia, about, I am so emotional with it, but I don't know that wouldn't want to be devoid of emotion. A happy medium would be great. But a little less, a little more control of the tears would be great, but nonetheless.
A little more ashwagandha will be fine. It's all right.
Well, you've been great. This is wonderful information. Can you give us the websites again?
Yeah, so Euro Health and Wellness Spa is my main website. And that gives all the same website as the Thera Wellness. I think it's therawellness.us actually.
Yeah.
I watched it. I'm blonde. It's okay. We forget things.
No, don't. Oh, don't. No, can't say no, blonde stuff.
I grew up with it, so I was like, all right. It was better than the Polish jokes. So I was like, all right.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
When are we gonna get past that stuff?
I don't know. You learn to laugh about it. I mean, I go to I don't mind it. So.
Yeah, but the Polish, the ethnic jokes too. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give the websites one more time. Euro
Health and Wellness Spa, and then Thera, THERA, wellness.us.
And you guys are on our partners page too as well. So people go ahead and look at, that up on the website. So
that's
awesome.
Wonderful.
I'm so stoked. I'm still speechless. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, it's fantastic information.
Yeah.
Klaudia, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Jonathan, how wonderful, right?
Speechless.
How wonderful, and what great information.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again. Definitely. I definitely want to try this.
Sorry. I'm learning. I'm learning Zoom. So can you, yeah, it's fantastic information.
Yeah.
Again, and I knew so little. I knew she was coming on. I'm looking at a little, but I remember biofeedback when I don't want to say when they first started, but I remember decades ago when they were talking about biofeedback for different, and how different this is from what I remember. And the fact that she looks at the other modalities and the importance of that.
And it's so cool that, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't trust that or do this, or it's different. It's they have to try it. If you don't know. And everybody's opinion means nothing if they haven't tried it. And the opinion will mean something. I tried it and it didn't work for me. But that's okay. But I'm going to try it. I'm definitely going to try it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. When you say that about not trying it, if people are having an issue, again, being emotional, mental, whatever, physical, and you're not getting results, why wouldn't you? Again, of course you would think, let me keep looking. Let me, if it's,
you don't just stop to take medicine for the rest of your life. You just got to figure something out. Try something.
Yeah, try something. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So can you give us an update? And do you want to talk a little bit about Utah? Or
I do want to touch on Utah. Obviously the bunny world. I think it was last week. There was a video. I couldn't personally watch the video, but there was
very disturbing.
That happened in Utah. That was really disturbing. And I think the most disturbing part was how people handled the situation. And we know we have to get messages out there, but sometimes, when we think we're doing the right thing, it's actually doing the wrong thing and hurting. So with that being said, there's got to be a different approach on things like that, because we want these companies or this community or whatever circumstance that these guys are doing with the rabbits to take us seriously. And if we go out there with guns ablazing and not knowing the correct information that we're posting online, and you guys need to contact this person or this person, if that tends to be the wrong people, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So I think probably next week I'm going to do a message on online and just kind of discuss that in depth and detail so people can understand the different approach rather than what's been done before, just over and over and over and over. And people aren't going to like the message, I know that, but I think people need to hear it. It's going to resonate because everybody wants change, but you have to change what you're doing to get change. Because we can only control what we can control. We can't control the out of control, but we can be in control of the out of control and then control it.
Oh yeah, that's deep, brother. That's deep. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Because if you're doing the same things and it's not working, then you need to expand your mind a little bit.
And here's the thing: people don't like change, and I'm here to make change. And like I said, RSS is still new. It's almost like the Tesla version. When Elon had the Tesla come out, that car is gross. I don't want to touch that car. What is that? They're poking at it. Look at it now. They're everywhere. It's far beyond what it was at the time. And so is RSS. Everybody wanted something like this. So I brought it to fruition. Everything I've ever said on the videos, I brought it to fruition. So I really want to basically try to make a change that, let's say a pivot. Let's just say a pivot. So when you pivot, that is a new direction. And that new direction can be an equal as a change. So let's talk about pivot. So that's kind of the message that I'm going to go ahead and do.
That's what, and things are just amazing at what you're doing so quickly with Rabbit Safe.
Trying.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Can we show that video if I can get it together here?
Oh, the snippet of
let me see.
San Diego House Rabbit Society.
I hope I'm getting a little bit better with. Oh, wait, I've got to bring it over.
There it is.
Okay, there it is. And let me do this. I don't know if you're going to hear it, Jonathan.
Okay, just play it.
Listeners, well, I'm going to play it, but because listeners and Facebook will hear it. That's absolutely fantastic. I've got to tell you that absolutely was fantastic, and I love that. Yeah, and by the way, for listeners, when it's done, when I can post it up also for listeners, every once in a while when I'm doing something visually, I catch it from listeners, people that are just listening to audio.
So we plan to do other rescues, things like that. But the whole moral of this, is to be funny, entertaining, but most importantly, educational. And that's kind of what I want to portray is basically the base foundation of the best quality life for the rabbit. Let's start there, and not with so many different, this and that and that and this. And sometimes I don't understand it. I just want the base that I can start going this way.
And progressing. It's always troubling when people don't, when you say about change and different things that people don't want to look at it. Well, I've always done it this way. Well, think about it. If you're a rabbit lover, with new things that we've learned and new abilities to help rabbits, look at how things have progressed. So you've got to
look at Klaudia. That's a change. That's insane.
That blew my mind. didn't, you know, and again, I've had acupuncture. I love the idea that different you know, again, I'm an old hippie. What can I say? You know, back then, but to hear how that's changed. I was looking a little bit at that Thera Wellness site and her site, and just all that information. I mean, how that technology has, what would you young people say, blown up, right?
Yeah.
It's
No,
incredible.
I agree.
It's a great. So things are going great.
Yeah, things are going good.
Rabbitsavior.com.
Yeah, so we got some cool stuff coming out. Maybe we'll talk about that next week, and then our next interview will be a very special one. So we'll have,
you don't want to say? Okay, that's fine. No, that's your.
I guess,
your call.
or
it's your call.
Let's give them. Let's post it. Yeah.
Just let me know. Just let me know when I can.
Two famous bunnies on Instagram.
Two very famous bunnies are going to join us, and I can't wait to see. You know, the only thing is, I'm going to want to go through the screen and kiss them on the head, and I'm not going to be able to do that. But
so we'll get the announcement Monday, and then we'll set up next Friday, and I'll see you again.
We'll do it again. I want to say to you one more time, the more I get to know you, the more I love you and the work that you do. Because you are so real and so compassionate and empathetic. And I see it online, but I've come to know it with the man that you are. I appreciate it very much.
And you know, it's funny. It's like, I'm as real as you can get. There's this, I'm transparent. I mean, for Christ's sake, I had my personal cell phone on the website forever. And you know, it scares people sometimes, because I know the bunny will let down a lot. So I understand. So, but I'm here to stay.
Yeah, I know you are. And I'm grateful. I'm again, RWAF, I'm grateful for Ray connecting us a while back. Yeah, so, I had no idea the relationship that we built, and what an amazing young man that you are. Your story just blows me away.
Vice versa.
Jonathan, thanks, man. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
See you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible guy he is. What a truly incredible